and welcome to another episode of MimiQA. I am MimikyuMark, and we are here for episode 4. What have we got in store for you this week? Well, we have an announcement of a winner of a particular prize that we've been giving away. We might do some, random Pokemon Tarot, and the random chit-chat, random news, and what's been going on this week. So, thank you very much. And it's a dark, dark morning for another MimiQA. Welcome to episode 4. I'm going to say every week, how on earth do we get to a podcast, let alone an episode 4? So good morning, everybody. Morning, welcome. For those who are unfamiliar and are just jumping in at an episode 4, we are here in this car, ready to go to Tynemouth Market. I've got my TikTok session and my TikTok followers. I've got them live on the screen. Oh, my goodness. I hope we get as many people as we do other weeks. I'm sure we do. People will sometimes just drop in and out, and we can absolutely just discuss with them what's going on. For those of you on the podcast, I will describe what is going on. It is coming up to 6:25 in the morning on this Sunday, the 28th of September. I've got a couple of mics with me this morning, so I thought I'd give this one a go, try to improve the audio quality. It is very dark and damp this morning. Oh, it's very, very dark and damp. Morning. Welcome. I am just sit here. I mean, for those joining on TikTok, right? I'm sat here in a dark space in a car. Oh, what am I doing this time in the morning? It is drizzling outside. The raindrops are falling off the trees, smashing the car. And yeah, we are here. Now for this particular session, just so that everybody is aware before we go into the full session itself, we will actually be doing some Pokemon tarot readings. So if people gift and do stuff like that, I've got to pull a random card out of my binder, and we will do a tarot reading based upon that card. So we'll see how that randomness goes. I mean, nobody may gift at all, which is absolutely fine. But we are also here. We are going to announce later on in this particular podcast a giveaway gift. So there is going to be a giveaway gift. I will, in the chat, post the actual recording itself, tag the person. So I will be doing that, and I will be doing a quick sort of snippet and publishing that. So there is somebody that I particularly have in mind. We've got someone joining. Beloved Bullies. Oh, you're too old for this app, pal. You know what? I probably am. I am probably too old for this app. But you know what? There's positive people that come here every week, and they are absolutely amazing. And you know what? It really helps me record these podcasts. So thank you so much for those who joined the MimiQA. Samantha Banks there is sticking up for me. Well done, Samantha. Well done. No one is too old. Exactly. You know what? I love you all. Haters and all. Haters and lovers. I love you. I absolutely love you both. But yeah, it's getting. Thank you, Gracie. Love your hat. You know what? Every single podcast recording that I do, someone will comment on this amazing MimiQ hat. MimiQ number 778 there. I have modified this hat slightly. It does have some beardy nerve badges on. It does have some, Mimikyu like little pins and stuff. And I've got what is the Wiglets badge there as well. So yeah, absolutely great. Oh, people coming in. Loads of comments already. Hi, morning. What a positive morning. What a positive start. So yes, this is episode 4. Now, usually we start with a little bit of news. I have just said that we're going to announce the prize for the giveaway this week. I'm still 50-50. So, this is, I don't do this often. There's one particular sort of prize card, which I'm like, you know what? I really don't want to give it away, but I really should. If I say I'm going to do prizes, I should absolutely do a prize. So I will absolutely do a prize, and I will give away. So that is really cool. Oh my goodness, but what a week! News. We'll start with some news. So we've had some pre-releases this week. So we have had the Pokemon pre-release for Mega Evolutions. Oh, shout out to all of you who've been to one, who competed, whether you've played before or not. It was absolutely amazing. You get the sort of the new vibe of a set. You get to open the packs. What should be early now? I know us in Europe and certainly the UK here, um, we have this stuff fairly late. I've just had there from Martin. He says, "Do I like the new set? I love the new set, but I've got to stay loyal to the original 151. But I've got a secret love for modern stuff, and you know, I'm wearing a MimiQ stuff here. You know, the proper MimiQ hoodie, the MimiQ hat. I love MimiQ. I'm just a fan. I'm just like a proper Pokemon super fan. And yes, so I love the modern. I love the modern game. I love the modern set. There are some absolutely, can I say banging? Absolutely bangers coming out in this set. We've got the Lucario Megas. Oh, amazing. We've got the Gardevoir. We've got Kangaskhan teaming up with his kid. Honestly, it's such a nice set. And then we've got Phantasmal Flames coming. But back to the news, and I will often do this. I will often go on a tangent. I managed to come fifth out of 19 people. How cool is that? You know, I've only, you know what? I love Pokemon. I've been doing it for a long time. However, I hardly ever play the pre-releases. First one in a long time was Destined Rivals. It's good because everybody's on the same level playing field, and then I just kind of jumped in with the Mega Evolutions. I thought, why not? I did the previous one, opened the packs, and it wasn't a card I could play, but I managed to get the Bulbasaur. I, I managed to get the Bulbasaur, the IR Bulbasaur, so that's really cool, right? On a pre-release, and its art is so beautiful. It is a very very beautiful card. Oh god, I've got alarms going off there, and that is going to happen throughout this podcast as well. I'm doing this on my phone in the car, recording on one device, doing TikTok on another device, praying for the sun to come up at some point. But yes, it's going to be dark for a while. Luckily, I've got a little sort of side light beside me, so it's really, really good. Oh, so Samantha there was saying second gen was okay-ish. Favorite game was Defo Silver. Oh, yes, Samantha. Yes. And Samantha's also saying Costco new sets are coming in October. Oh, yes, they are. Well, you know what? I'm going to be getting some stuff potentially next week. I, I know, I know. Tell me about it. I'm going to be potentially opening some stuff the back end of next week. You know, at the very latest, the 6th of October. So, how amazing is that? We are at the pre-release season already. Oh, that was cool. And in kind of other TCG news, I know we don't necessarily focus too much on other card games, but I did a Gundam pre-release for their second set. We had probably not enough stock for that type of stuff, but you know there were a few of us sort of playing Gundam stuff, and I managed to do pretty well in Gundam. I won 2 out of my 3 games, so I was really quite happy with that. So yeah, TC, you know, news this week. It's going really really well. We had the Spider-Man pre-release not long ago. Oh my goodness, what's going on? And then other news for those of you into Magic the Gathering, we have had Universes Beyond sets and normal in Magic Universe sets announced for next year. The one I'm particularly geekily happily about is Star Trek. November Star Trek. Oh, that would be absolutely. You know what, Star Trek. People who absolutely love Magic the Gathering will probably hate my point of view, and that's absolutely fine. I think we can love and hate together, right? And the Star Trek Magic the Gathering is going to be a beautiful beautiful thing. I'm going to be so broke come next year. We've got the 30th anniversary for Pokemon next year. We've got all sorts of amazing Universes Beyonds. There's rumors that the Nickelodeon Universe Beyond will end up being Turtles. Oh, yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah, so we've just had in the chat there, Gundam has cards. Well, I never. Yeah, check them out. They're into the second set now, or just about to go into the second set. We've had the pre-releases. They've just done the purple color. They're pretty cool. Means I've had to get myself a Crunchyroll subscription, and I'm going to be catching up with Gundam because it's been going since whenever, and I've hardly ever watched it. So, yeah, I'm gonna crack on with that. Yeah, and you just said there, Doctor Who set was epic. Yes, You know what? I'm just a massive fan of Universes Beyond. Back to Samantha because Samantha was. Hello, good morning, morning, Samantha. And I think there was another Samantha, wasn't there earlier? Oh my goodness, we've got so much positivity here this morning. It was Samantha Banks that was sticking up for us, and we've got another Samantha. We've got all the Samanthas this morning. Oh yes. So let me recap. Episode 4, MimiQA, me just talking rubbish on TikTok. People listening on podcasts. So go to wherever you get your podcasts from, and you will find me there. MimiQA, MimiQA. And yeah, you can listen to the old recordings and you can get the shout outs. Absolutely. Such a great experience I have this during these mornings. It is absolutely brilliant. It's nice and dark and damp outside, but we're getting ready for time off market. I've already done my pricing on the cards. We are going to potentially do some tarot this morning. If we get, I'm not going to force people to gift, but if we do get gifts, I'm going to do some tarot readings. So, what could my first one be? Oh, my first one. First reading today. I will do a freebie. Let me go. So Martin Proudlock. Do I have a pet? I potentially do. I have. You will see videos of me with my cats in the videos. So yes, we have a couple of cats. We got a couple of Maine Coons, and they're so pretty. Are you ready for the first reading? Martin Proudlock. Your first reading today is the Sylveon V from Evolving Skies. This is such a beautiful, happy-go-lucky card. It is full of positivity. It is full of what else do we have on this card? Let's have a look. We've got food. We've got cakes. You're in for a treat, Martin. You are absolutely in for a treat, apparently. So your happy and go lucky nature will lead you to some form of treat experience. Now I'm hoping it's some form of edible experience, but I don't think it necessarily has to be. But you're in for some sort of exciting time in your life, with whatever you've got coming in the next sort of few days, few weeks. I mean, the Sylveon itself is such a happy person. There must be something amazing going on in your life, Martin. So, yes, that would be absolutely amazing. There you go. So that's what the tarot readings are gonna be like. I'm just gonna pull out a card and just go, yeah, look at the card and whatever we feel will happen. So yes, happy days. Now, where was I? Why am I here? Why am I here? All you friendly people on TikTok said I should do a podcast. And you know what? I'm going to absolutely follow through and do a podcast. And we're on episode 4. Now, I probably should have started this earlier in the summer because I've just realized that when it gets to the winter, it gets darker. And I'm sat here with a ring light on. And obviously, I've got to have tons of batteries and stuff. And I probably find that my batteries are going to drain. And what I probably didn't realize was when I'm at Time Off Market selling the Pokemon cards, obviously I use things like an iPad and I use card readers and stuff, and I've got my phone, and they're probably going to run out of battery, right? And I'm using my batteries for the lights, and I'm probably going to have no batteries. I'm probably going to be stood there, Time Off Market, going, "Can I take cash only, please? Because I can't take your money." Oh yes, it is what it is. And Martin's just said there, the 4th of October, I have a convention. You're cosplaying. Oh, really? You know what? Maybe that's what it is. I've got a feeling, though, it's not necessarily your cosplay, but I have a feeling in general, Sylveon itself is such an amazing, positive thing, and you're going to have an amazing experience with your friends and loved ones. So Sylveon itself has to be, it evolves with love, from what I remember of Pokemon. So it is possibly a special one close to you in your life. I, I don't know. That's just what I feel. That's what I feel, Martin. Okay. Should we do another reading for somebody? Let's do one for who's just joined the chat. We've got one there for a Dylan. Okay. Are you still in the chat, Dylan? Let's see who's in the chat. Oh, Kelly. Kelly's still in the chat. Oh, I've got something I've got something for you, Kelly. We have a Rotom V. Now the light makes it actually quite difficult because these things are so shiny, right? So this Rotom V here, Kelly, is from Lost Origin, from what I can tell the symbol there. It's like the alt art sort of cards that they used to do. Very, very pretty card. But the Rotom is energetic, okay, but it can also morph and kind of turn into things and power things that are around it. And I think you're going to be in a situation where you're going to have to adapt, Kelly. So yeah, I mean, there is a. What else do we have in the picture? I mean, the washing machine jumps out. So maybe it's maybe you're in a period of life where you are kind of recycling and kind of cleansing your soul. It is looking like it's going to go in an open fridge door. So yeah, an open door for you to jump into. Yeah, wow. Okay, Kelly. There you go. I mean, I don't know if that was any good of a reading, but that seems. Uh... oh, and Chloe says the hat's cool. So Chloe, I'm going to do you a free tarot reading. Let me get the next card. And I'm just randomly pulling these out, by the way, Chloe. So it is pretty much like it is tarot, right? Venusaur SIR from 151. Look at that. A beautiful card. Now, let me just say that your life is full of abundant growth. I mean, the Venusaur itself is a stage 2. So there is some form of, I would like to say relationships, but probably work related or working on something. And yeah, you are flourishing amongst all of your peers. So I think you've probably got some form of growth within your working life. I think I'm seeing here. I don't know. Could be. I don't want to say promotions and pay rises, right? Because you'll just come and complain. But yeah, I think you're going to be expanding new horizons within your working place. Is what I'm feeling of that. So yeah, there we go. That's an interesting one. Pokemon Tarot. Oh no, you're welcome. I think it is positive though. I think generally, I'm going to give positive tarot, but if a feeling jumps off the page that is negative, I will say it. But that feels like it was a positive one. Oh, okay. And yes, I am recording for a podcast. My podcast has gone international. I have podcast people listening in Japan. I've got people listening in America. Not loads, okay. I'm just a little name. I'm not big at all. But it's so humbling to know that people will just randomly, look for you and listen to you. It's absolutely great. Martin has just comment there saying their favorite Pokemon is Bulbasaur. It was their first ever love, and their second is Leafeon. So you like the grassy types. Now, my daughter's favorite one is Leafeon. There is something about. I mean, they get referred to as Eevee dogs, right? I know they're not dogs. They could be cats. They could be foxes, but sometimes they get called Eevee dogs or just the evolutions. There is something about them, especially the different types. Like everyone can just kind of latch on to something, and say they like that. They've got all the different types. They've got different personalities. It is absolutely great. Closure said that I need to know where to get that hat. Well, here's some advertising now. So this is a genuine Pokemon sponsored product. There's a company called Diffus that I think they could be Netherlands based, and they produce these hats. I sell them down Tynemouth Market, so I think I've got like 3 left. I think I sold one the other day. But Tynemouth Market, you can absolutely just come down and see me. And yes, I think they're about 30 quid ish, 30, 32, something like that. I should really know, right? Because I'm selling them. And they're all fluffy. I mean, look at these ears there. Yeah, it's a really good product. I mean, mine's a little bit worn now, but I've had it on a couple of years. The other ones I've got are all brand new. They've got the sticker on, the Diffus sticker and stuff. So yeah, just come down Tynemouth Market, and yeah, we'll have a good time, right? Ah, Martin says Pokemon is like real life. We evolve and grow. That is the message for this particular cast. We evolve, we grow. I love it. I love it. I love that message. Yes, we evolve, we grow. Pokemon's full of positivity. Now, the fan base will sometimes twist it, okay, and will say, "Oh, but why aren't there many men around? Has there been some form of war? Has there been some form of, why is everything kind of so sparsely populated?" It is really interesting once you start reading in between the lines. I don't think it's supposed to be. I think it's supposed to be just a happy go lucky world, right? A different universe, and one that we can comprehend as game players. So I think it's good. So Liam says, "My guy, you not cold in there? It's freezing." No, you know what? No, it's not. You know what? It may be dark. The sun is coming up. I can see the sky starting to have a dim sort of grey, bluey sort of glow to it, and we're having some natural light start to come through this morning. It's fine though. But later on in the year, though, Liam, you will be absolutely right. I will be freezing my toes off later on in the year, and it is damp, and the dampness doesn't always help, does it? So yeah, I will be. So Liam, I'm gonna do you, Liam. I'm gonna do you a freebie here. I'm gonna do you a Pokemon Tarot reading, and the card I've just randomly looked at. I'm gonna pull out is Hops Zacian. Look at that. It's a beautiful SIR card from what was this one from? It was from Journey Together. So this card here represents some form of sort of friendship or some sort of bond. Now, I don't think it's necessarily with an animal. It's probably with a person. So Zacian carries a sword, doesn't it? So it's probably some form of sort of person that you look up to, and yeah, there's some sort of friendly bond. It could be with like a fatherly figure, or some sort of paternal figure. It doesn't necessarily have to be a paternal figure, but someone you sort of look up to, getting closer, some sort of coaching relationship going on there, and building and growing, and learning experience. So yeah, I think there's going to be definitely a learning experience going on there between you and your mentor. So yeah, how cool is that? How cool is that? There you go, Liam. You got a freebie there. Liam, I currently have a wasp nest problem. Why am I up at this time? I think I've won the war. Are you been battling with Beedrills, Liam? We have to make this Pokemon related, right? So Beedrills, yeah. So you've got a wasp infestation. We'll call them Beedrills, and you've been battling them with your water type Pokemon, maybe. I don't know, or fire type Pokemon. Oh goodness. This is supposed to be family friendly. This show, and we're talking about sort of mass unaliving of Beedrills. No, you're gonna catch them all, right? You're gonna have an arm. You're gonna be like that bug catcher in the game, right? Every game has a bug catcher. Some guy who just has an army of Beedrills or an army of Weedles or something. You're gonna be that guy, and that's your stash of Pokemon. There you go. So Martin's just said there. Some people think Pokemon is evil making. Sorry, it is sorry. Oh, I should learn to read, right? They think it's evil making them fight against their will. You know what? You can absolutely read between the lines and go, yeah, that they're effectively enslaving these poor digital creatures, right? And they've got to be digital creatures, right? Because they digitize them into the balls. What I find amazing though is when you play sort of like Legends Arceus or Arceus, however you want to pronounce it's kind of like back to the steam powered Pokeballs, almost. It's going back in history, and when they sort of use those Pokeballs, it's like oh, we've just invented something, right? And these guys don't have computers. You're writing things in scrolls. So how are they catching Pokemon? How are they catching inside the ball the Pokemon when they're all steam powered? I don't get it. I don't get it. But it was a fun way to explore that universe. But yes, I think sometimes Pokemon itself can be taken in different ways. People understand different ways, but that's the fun part of Pokemon. I think that's why people reflect and look at different Pokemon. They think, you know what, I probably project onto that Pokemon. So some people like Umbreon, it's a little bit darker, it's a little bit cooler. It's the reason why people watch, I don't know, James Bond movies or these other sort of fantasy movies. They kind of want to relive it through imagination, and yeah, I think that's part of it as well. So if people are looking at the darker side of Pokemon, it probably says more about themselves than what it does Pokemon. Pokemon was almost like a blank canvas for your imagination, right? You could probably play with it. Morning, morning, Ricky. Morning, morning. I'm going to do you a tarot reading, Ricky, because you said morning. So if anybody else wants tarot readings, you can just gift away. I'm going to do you a tarot reading based on Pokemon cards. And your card this morning, Ricky, is the Obsidian Flames Gold Charizard. So it's a terrestrialized Charizard there, all gold card. Now, this is some form of kind of passion, aggression. It's a very passionate thing, a Charizard. It's very emotional as well, the Charizard. Now, fire types normally don't get associated with emotion, but it's raw emotion we're looking at. And we're looking at golden. Okay, what could be golden? A ring. It could be golden. Okay, so I think this is you're gonna have a fiery time with a loved one. I mean, I could be, I may not be a tarot professional, but that is telling me you're gonna have a fiery time with a loved one. That is what that's sort of telling me. Now, fire can mean a couple of things. It could be the aggression. It could be arguments. I really don't want it to be negative, but it feels like it could be more of a passionate thing. So I'm hoping that's the way that one's going for you there, Ricky. So there you go. There's a quick reading for you. Um, we have Martin saying that's why there is no regular Voltorb in Legends game. Oh, okay, okay, yeah, okay, that is pretty cool. We got yeah, because they're all wooden, aren't they? That makes sense. the older, the is it the Alolan? I could have absolutely got that wrong, but there is like the wooden version of a one, right? Maybe it's that. Oh, so what have we got to look forward to coming up? So at the start of the cast, we did say that there's some Pokemon stock coming. So we've had the pre-releases. So with the pre-releases comes all of the boxes that gets released, all of that lovely opening stuff, and we're going to be opening tons and tons of packs in the next week or so. So whenever we can kind of get together and get some time for a stream, we're gonna be absolutely sharing that. So like and follow me. I'm gonna do a massive ripping. Now I don't scalp. I get these things from various places and I just crack them open so that whoever's collecting the sets and if there's a particular card you want, you just come to me at the market stall or you find MimiQMark on Card Market. And you can just buy the stuff, right? I try to go for market low with what I do. Some stuff could be medium, depending on the quality of the card. But I tend to bring this stuff at market value to you. Now, granted, some stuff could be crazy overpriced, but it will actually be cheaper to buy singles than what it will to buy boxes. If you try and finish a set just by buying booster boxes, you're gonna find yourself in a big hole of debt. It is Pokemon and hit rates on the best. What I also try to do when I come to market stores is give people an opportunity to open packs. So we've got packs and we tend to go for sort of the lowish rates on the market as well. And yeah, we sort of try to offer these opportunities in a world where it's very very difficult. And we do this as a hobby. This absolutely makes no money whatsoever. It pays for itself to then pay for the next set. I'm always in debt. Yes, this is what the hobby does to us. Anybody in this hobby is in debt. Okay, that's it. Some sort of soul related thing. Um, so if anybody else wants a tarot reading, just gift away. I've got all sorts of kind of things that we could talk about. I'm going to predict what it's going to be like for somebody in the chat today. What sort of day we're going to have today. So we have a walking wake is the next card to come up. A walking wake. So that is absolutely a sort of a tidal, a shift, a change in life. Now it's up a tree on this particular card, and it's kind of looking high. So it's probably a shift through a little bit of turmoil, but actually ending up in a better place. To be honest, that's what. So somebody in this chat is going to absolutely have that happen to them over the next sort of, well, before Christmas, I imagine. Going to have a big life-changing event. Wow, that's quite a powerful card, right? Beautiful, beautiful card. Debt is 2 right there, Poison. Yes, absolutely. The debt itself of Pokemon. It is a soul debt, okay? It is absolutely a soul debt, but it's also absolutely a love debt. You know, we love this thing, and there's sort of gaps in our lives that sometimes Pokemon fills. So yes, we absolutely love it. So Poison says having to put the new Switch and Pokemon game on. Ah, yes. You know what? I can't wait for that new Legends game to come out. The Z2A. It looks really, really, really good. I think every single Pokemon game that's come out over the last few years, you know, the sort of proper games, not the not the ones where you run around as a Pokemon throwing ball at each other. You know, that thing doesn't necessarily interest me, but the these new releases are great, and there's Luminos City, which is very much like a Paris esque, a Parisian esque location. It's gonna be so beautiful, and then next year we will get the next game. So it's natural for people to probably want the Switch 2 to get Z2A. Then next year you've got the Switch 2 ready for the next release. Goodness knows how expensive that next game is going to be. Whatever succeeds the Scarlet Violet game that's coming out right now. Oh, yes. So Poison also says, I didn't have a family growing up, so Pokemon was always my outlet. I love it. Oh, you can't say that without me doing another Pokemon reading for you. That is such a sad story, and I hope Pokemon give you that love to potentially replace some of what you should have had really growing up. So yeah, I'm so sorry, but actually I hope you've had a positive experience. Not everybody's life has to be the same, and sometimes we end up better for it. So we end up stronger. So you can't wait for the return of Megas. This is so true. Mega evolutions are just so beautiful. And I managed to pull a couple of mega cards, just the normal EXs from the pre-release. So that was quite a good experience. Now, you ready for your reading here? You've got a dash bun there. So it's an it's a Pokemon made of food. Okay, it is a. I know it says they're psychic, but I know it's got resistance to fire. So yes, you are a very resistant, hard person to emotions. But it's eating it. It's kind of it's sitting around the pie. It's sitting around the food, which is kind of like a good time, a party, maybe a celebration, a time to celebrate. But in that time of celebration, the dash bun is kind of like sort of watching from the outside in, and I think it's probably a need to kind of feel open with those celebrating around you, kind of be part of that celebration, be part of that new thing which is going on that people are celebrating. So yeah, there you go. I mean, it was a bit more cryptic that one, but I think that's what tarot's about. I think you kind of have to kind of read in it, and hopefully we'll find meaning there with that one. And that is the real truth of things like tarot, is just to find the meaning to it. Poison said, I'm going to add one to my team on Scarlet Violet right now. That's made my day. Oh, Poison, brilliant. You know what? The Dash Bun is such a beautiful, beautiful Pokemon. It looks very edible, though, I've got to admit. My daughter pulled the Fido the other day from SV1. We managed to get a hold of some older packs, and she pulled the Fido. And the Fido is kind of like it's pouring up at the window. So it's looking inside at the other food. And you kind of got to think, for that conversation we had earlier on in this particular podcast, looking back at the darker side of Pokemon. I think I mentioned probably a few times on these podcasts about we've seen them eat Magikarp or things that look like Magikarp in Pokemon. Things like Dash Buns and Fidos. Is that where they get their bread from? Oh no, I hope not. I hope not. We were so positive then, and it went so dark so quick. So yeah, great. Oh, beautiful. Oh, I love these. I love these mornings before we go into the market. They are so positive. So thank you so much, and thank you for all those listening as well on the podcast. I just have to have a shout out to all of those who do subscribe and listen, whether it be on TikTok and you can find me MimikyuMark on TikTok or any other kind of social media. I go by that name, and also on the podcast, Podbean, Apple Podcasts, YouTube Podcasts, where else? Spotify, Amazon Audible. MimiQA is on there, so you can absolutely listen to that. And we have to have a shout out before the end of the call about what the prize is going to be for those who are joining in on the TikTok giveaway. So on TikTok, I put up a video, and it was of a Pikachu, and it was just loads of text kind of on it, and I kind of advertised it out, trying to get more followers. I'm not gonna pull any punches. That's why we do this, right? Is we try to get followers, get the word out there, and so on. And there was a few people who kind of commented, and some people who are just getting into it, and some of the comments were beautiful. A lot of people like Pikachu, but also a lot of people also like Pokemon like Mew, the evolutions, and it was such a positive thing to see. And it did state you had to like, you had to share repost the sort of video, and not everybody did that, and I think I need to be true to those who did do the sharing and stuff as well. And there is a particular person in mind who absolutely shared it, and I think they would absolutely sort of love, or at least be able to trade this card away for something else that they want. So I don't know. So I have a special card. Well, I've got a couple of special cards, but I have if I was to find it, and this isn't final yet, by the way. This is the joy of doing this. This isn't absolutely final at all. But I have a special Pokemon Play stamped Flareon from Prismatic Evolution there. So these things you can only get from prize packs. Okay. So these things you can only get from prize packs. It is a beautiful, beautiful card, but that is one of the options that I think I have for the prize. There are some other cards in here, but I think that's probably the one I'm leaning towards for this particular person. So, yeah, it's an absolutely beautiful card, and I think the reason why I'm leaning towards it is because it's got the play stamp. It's not just something that you can open from a pack. So I'd love to give away a load of cards, but actually, that particular card itself is a stamped card from a pack that you have to get from an event to either participate or win, and kind of getting somebody into the hobby and kind of getting that out there. I don't know. I just think that particular one is a really cool card. So I think that is absolutely a beautiful thing. So yes, I think that particular card will be given away to the person I have in mind. I will announce it, so I will stick it out there on TikTok. So I will push it out there. So I think that is the card that will be given away. If, however, I do read the list, and they say a few more things, I may chuck other stuff in. I may potentially, I may potentially go for another card that they prefer. I don't know, but I think that is the card at this very moment in time that I'm going to give away. So I want to keep it as wholesome as possible, and I want to ensure that they have the card that they enjoy as well. So there we go. Okay, so Poison says, so it's a bit like Yu-Gi-Oh! OTS box. Yeah, exactly. It's something where when you go to a proper Pokemon Play event, you will find when you win, if you get certain, if you go within the top 10 or something, the chances are you'll win one of those Pokemon Play packs. And if you become first, you might get a bunch of them. So you might get a few, and that's just from find your local game stores. You will be able to join events, join the leagues and stuff, and that's where you win these special things. So yeah, I think that's probably where I'm kind of leaning towards. So Nick has said, "What's my favorite evolution?" It has to be the Umbreon. I don't want to go with the crowd. I feel like a bit of a sheeple. I'm going to go with the crowd on this one. I love the Umbreon. Uh, I love Eevee, but you've specifically said evolution there. So the Eevee evolving. I think it has to be Umbreon. There is. I mean, my daughter will say Leafeon, or she'll say whatever comes to her head that day, really. But Leafeon is what she can recently go to. But there's something smooth, dark, sleek with an Umbreon, and I did say before earlier on in the recording, that we sometimes put our own feelings, emotions, and kind of wants and desires and stuff onto the things that we read and watch and so on. And I think we do something similar with the evolutions. And Umbreon just sort of chimes. And luckily, I managed to pull the Umbreon and Espeon in the same pack for a demigod pack. The picture itself is in my TikTok history. But yeah, love all of them though. So Poison says Dragapult players have 80 of these packs unopened from all of the tourneys. Why have they got 80 unopened? Oh, is that because they play? I hope so. I hope they're winning these things and not opening. So that would be, if you're not playing and you've got a bunch of these unopened in your restore, that's probably not great, right? But if you've been playing, fine. If you've just bought them off somebody, that's also a little bit weird. These things are supposed to be opened and played. So the whole reason why you open a play pack is because they bling out your deck and they've got the stamps on, well done for playing, and you stick them in your deck. I think that's they are supposed to be a prize. Dragapult players win SM Tonys. It's bad. Oh, okay, it's bad. I hope they don't watch this. and I'm gonna get so much abuse. Okay, I don't know what I'm walking into here. I don't know what I'm walking into. Let's see what I'm walking into. Okay, let's do my own sort of reading here now of what's you're not really supposed to if you're the tarot reader. However, we've got there an Iron Valiant. Iron Valiant from Paradox Rift. Look at that. The SIR Iron Valiant from Paradox Rift. A beautiful, beautiful card there. Now, that's the kind of the future Delibirdy thing at the bottom corner there. Ooh, so I wonder if that's kind of a reference to Christmas time, Christmas holidays. We've got there the Iron Thorns in the background. Is it Iron Thorns? I think it is. It's the Tyranitar future, and the Iron Valiant itself is it's very heroic sort of looking Pokemon. So I think we're going to have a strong end to the year. Looking at that, I would suggest, that's really cool. There is a sun. It's either rising or setting. I've got a feeling it's rising though. So yeah, you know what? That is a lovely view of a positive view I like to have of our future. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So thank you so much for being in this TikTok. And I always like to take some time during the TikToks to say thank you to everybody who joins. So thank you very much. Give yourself a round of applause. It's a beautiful thing for you to all be so positive this time in the morning, to give me likes, to give me follows, to just have a little bit of fun. It's absolutely great. So thank you so much for that. And thank you again to the podcast listeners. So I'm trying to drive up the podcast, spread the word. Is it any good? Tell me. If it's not, tell me. We will have such a fun experience together. And tell me how I can improve it. Tell me your questions. Tell me what do you want to know about Pokemon, or what do you want my feelings known about Pokemon? I've got to be very careful now. And I've always got to say in every single podcast, this podcast is not sponsored by Nintendo. Or reflect the points and the views of the Pokemon Company, Nintendo, Game Freak, and all of that other stuff. So yeah, I'm purely independent hobbyist doing a review on the hobbies that we do. Tokutter says, "Is this your full-time job now?" It really isn't, Tokutter. It should be though, right? This absolutely should be my full-time job. No, unfortunately not. I have a day job, and as much as I love that day job, and I hope some of my colleagues are listening, I prefer this. but you know what? You have to have a day job. Unfortunately, you've got to be a contributing member of society and all of that, and I do that. This is purely just a hobby. I mean, it was supposed to be just a Sunday hobby, but I end up doing all sorts of tournaments and pack openings and recordings and market prep. It kind of feels like a job now, and I'm trying not to get too close to that job-like feel. But yes, I wish this was my job. I absolutely wish, Tokutter. but thank you for believing that I could do this job. Oh, thank you so much for believing. I don't want to pop bubbles or anything, but I wish I could make a living. Someone said at the very we had we had an interesting confrontation between someone sticking up for me at the start of the podcast here, and somebody who was trying to throw insults and say I was too old for this. How horrible is that? How I know I've got a bit of grey in my beard now, but it's that's I'm sure they meant it in a lovely positive way. So yes, Tokuna, I've never seen you before. What is it you do here? Well, I am recording a podcast right now. So on a Sunday morning, I get ready to go into a place called Tynemouth Market up in the northeast of England. It's in a beautiful Victorian station, which was converted relatively recently into metro station. Well, I say relatively, probably within my life, happily. And it is a place where you can come and buy Pokemon, you can come buy antiques. Tynemouth Market is a beautiful place. And it's not just me. There's like 3 or 4, or even more stallholders that do Pokemon, and some which are bigger than me. There are local shops around here called Northumbrian Tin Soldier. That is a beautiful shop. And obviously Newcastle itself has got loads of Pokemon stuff. So, but the market itself on it, especially on a Sunday when I'm down here, there's loads of people, there's loads of stuff you can do. You can just come down and chat about Pokemon. It's absolutely fine. And yeah, I spent some of my time here just chatting with you people on TikTok, and it was such a positive experience. And people kept saying, "Do a podcast." I was like, you know what, I will do a podcast. You've just asked there, what is the name of the market? It's Tynemouth Market. So Tynemouth, all one word, market. So as the name suggests, it's at the mouth of the River Tyne, so near Newcastle. And yeah, it's a beautiful place to come go and see some of my posts. You may see me say, "Look, I'm gonna be here at the market." You'll see that beautiful glass sort of roof that keeps everyone dry, not necessarily warm, but it keeps you dry. But it's a great place, full of positive people, loads of different artsy stalls, loads of food stalls. Oh my goodness, the food down here is amazing. So it's worth coming down here just for the food. People come down from Scotland, People I've known people come down from like Glasgow and Edinburgh just to come to this market for the day. How really cool is that? And in the summer, because it's next to Tynemouth, you've got the beach and everything else. It is it's such a beautiful place. You're across from Manchester, and Manchester is certainly can be a very beautiful place. Same as like Liverpool and so on. All our sort of northern towns are very. I say northern towns, northern cities. I don't want to sound like I'm from across the pond there. Call us all towns, but they're such beautiful built up places. But it's the people that make them, and certainly in our northern places they tend to be quite friendly. So yeah, there's a lot of friendliness around here as well. And yeah, I do this as a hobby. So I'll do loads of pack cracking. I've got like 16 to 18 booster boxes of Mega Evolution to open probably over the next sort of week or so. Um, I will absolutely be cracking as much as I can. I will do the odd giveaways. So I'm doing a giveaway today. I think it's the Flareon EX, and I'm gonna tag the person who's won it after this video in the original post where I've got advertising this all. So look through my posts and you will see that they liked, they shared it, they put a lovely story in there, and yeah. So I think that's what I think I'm going to do more giveaways as well as kind of time goes on. So the Mega Evolution set, I'll probably do a giveaway from that. Nothing big because I do this as a hobby, so it's more just like a nice gesture for people to say, thank you very much for liking, thank you very much for commenting and being amazing. That's what I'm trying to do. So yeah, cool. Oh, we're coming towards the end of the cast, though. We are coming up to 7:15. My watch there thought it was talking to it, but yes, we are preparing for another market day, and it's a bit damp. But I hope we're going to have a lot of people come down. We've got a lot of great things to come. Usually, I dedicate this part of the session to JJ the jet plane. So I don't know if JJ the jet plane is around, but they would usually have JJ jokes. So if you guys know jokes, if anybody in the TikTok stream knows jokes, I will absolutely read them out if they are clean. Remember, family friendly. I've got to be family friendly. I don't want this to descend into F's and B's and all of that sort of stuff. Not birds and the bees either. But yes, I will absolutely read them out. So if you got any good what are probably qualified as dad jokes, they don't necessarily need to be a father to sort of say them, but you know what I mean. It's what they're commonly referred to as. So somebody just said there, MimiQA opinion on Whooper. Oh, Whooper. Whooper's got a heavy fan base. Does Whooper? Whooper and the Paldean Whooper, which you could just call it. I'm not going to do that. But though that's bathing in mud. It it's got a weird fan base. I don't know why. I don't know why. I hope it's not as dark as Vaporeon's, but it's got a weird fan base. You know what? It is great though. Whooper, I shout out a whoop for Whooper. I will absolutely whoop for Whooper. That's very difficult for me to say for some reason this morning. I don't know why, but yes, Whooper is absolutely amazing. I do love Whooper, and some of the cards from the Paldean era are brilliant. That full art where it's the Paldean Whooper just in that mud, just enjoying itself. It's just great. It's either enjoying itself or it's just falling over, right? And it's just like, oops. But it's great. And you know what? I think a shout out in general to derpy Pokemon. We should have a derpy Pokemon section. And I think Ditto would always be there, right? And a Slowpoke. Those Pokemon will always be there in the derpy section. Oh, but brilliant, but brilliant, but brilliant. So thank you so much. Yes, have a good day there, Toe Cutter. Have a good day. Well, we've had a generally again a positive fan response to this TikTok live recording this morning on this little bit damp start to a Sunday morning. It's starting to get brighter there now. If you are watching the stream, you will see I'm not just sat in the dark car anymore. I am sat here with at least some light behind me now. My ring light beside me is probably not really doing a lot. Okay, it is kind of illuminating my face still, but yeah, the sun's coming up, but it's going to get darker. So this experience on these TikTok lives really does build me up. So thank you very much for building up whatever I have inside me now. Oh, who else is in the chat? Shout out if you're in the chat. Say hello, and I will do it. Probably one of the last readings. Then I will do a Pokemon. I will do a Pokemon Tower reading. So shout out if you are in the chat and you would like a Pokemon Tower reading. Shout out. We're gonna have nobody now, right? Anybody there for a Tower reading using a Pokemon card? I have a card chosen, so the first person to type something in the chat will absolutely get this reading. Who is it? Nobody. which is fine. I'm sure there's a slight delay on this as well. But yes, we've had no JJ's jokes. Oh my goodness! And I can't, the ones that come to default in my head, if you've listened to this podcast before, they're not suitable for children. I can't say the jokes in my head. I have to rely on other people to give me some jokes. Oh, so shout out in the chat if you got a joke, and I will read it out. Shout out in the chat if you want a tarot reading. I will do probably one more before we go today. But you know what? I think it's going to be a bit of a positive day this morning. I think we're going to have a lovely, lovely time at Tynemouth Market. But I still need to price some cards. I've still got loads of stuff to price this morning. So we will absolutely see how that one goes. Prices are looking a little bit crazy. So we will continue with some Pokemon news. Prices are going wild. Have you seen the new gold cards in Mega Evolutions? Those prices for a gold card are absolutely wild. Gold cards, historically, or recent history, have tended to be cards which are the same print and then they've just put a gold color behind, right? And I think that's probably been seen as maybe a little bit lazy. The arts themselves are beautiful, but why recycle the same art through 3 or 4 cards? So to do a gold card which represents a different art, yes, it's for the same Pokemon, but it's got different art representation, I think has really sparked the interest of the Pokemon community. And personally, I like it. Personally, I love them. You go onto apps like Dex, and the pictures they've got on there don't do them justice. It's just gold with kind of a little bit of a raised sort of texture, but they actually don't do them justice. Oh, we've got a shout out there. for a tarot reading. Okay, let's do a tarot reading. Now, this one here is actually going to be a trainer. So we got there Lacey. So Lacey there in this particular prismatic. Sorry, is it prismatic? No, Stellar Crown. Stellar Crown. The SIR from Stellar Crown there. Lacey sort of holding up sort of crossed arms. There's lots of kind of anger there with somebody sleeping in the background. I don't know what's going on in that particular scene, but it's looking like there's towards the trainer themselves, there's a little bit of kind of arguments going on. There's a kind of an in-depth conversation going on, but there is also a little bit of sleepiness there in the background. I think this card represents there is love, there is hate, and there is somebody in the background going, you know what, I just want to live my life and have a snooze. So I think sometimes in life we get worried about various things, and we probably just have to take a step back, like that person in the back there, and go, you know what, is it worth it, or do I just have a bit of a chill? So I think let's end on that final particular sort of word there, and let's have a chill. So, oh, and it's come the time where TikTok wants me to line up a jigsaw puzzle with something with a wider picture to ensure that I'm still alive. Does that happen with all streamers? I think it does. I don't think TikTok trusts me. But it's been absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much for being with us for episode 4 of MimiQA. I'm hoping that in the next videos that I'll be pushing up there over the next sort of week or two, we will have hundreds and hundreds of mega evolution packs opened up. And thank you, Amy, for saying, "Can I have your hat?" You can come down Time Mouth Market and you can buy one of these. So yeah, absolutely, come down and buy one. Yeah, you probably want it for free. I don't think so. I wish I was that sort of streamer. I wish I was a Mr. Beast esque person who could just give away hats. So yes, I believe the giveaway announced. So the giveaway will be this Flareon from Prismatic Evolutions, and it's play stamped. I don't know if you can see that. It's play stamped, so Pokemon Play. So you can only get these from play packs. It's a beautiful card, and this will absolutely come off Card Market today, and it will go to the person I will announce in the chat. And in fact, not this particular chat. There is a video where I've said I'm going to do a giveaway, and I'm going to announce it in that video. So yes, this is going to be the card which will be given away. So thank you so much to all of those who have joined us today, and yeah, have a great time. I will see you again for another MimiQA. So I'm going to end the podcast there. So thank you, everybody.